I mean, your intake is on top, and your exhaust is facing this way, downward. We're coming from the back of it. It's very hard to get this to the front. You wouldn't want to do it anyway. This has a little bit of a pivot edge for your pistons to slide in from the back. But you can see how much it turned a little bit, but not too bad. So let's go ahead and get this guy back to where he's supposed to be. The compression ring. He's almost there. You do a turn for me. Okay. Hold that still. Work on the other side. There we go. So that's compressed, that's compressed. Okay, now it's not that hard to compress it once you have the piston out and facing down from you, but if you ever pull the crankshaft out of it and it rips the pistons out of the cylinder jug, that's a little bit more challenging because you don't have full focus, and then you also have the cylinder rail top it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to twist it this way where I can see both, and you guys can see both. Okay, so you look at it. There you go. Our bottom compression ring is on the right hand side. Our very top compression ring is on the left hand side. And we want to just double check again to make sure our oil ring is focused. The top oil ring is going to be on the left hand side. And then the other one's on the right hand side. And then our squiggly ring should be in the center somewhere, which it is. So that's good. We are ready for compact. Okay. What you want to do is squeeze it as much as you can on much of the diameter. You know, you just want to squeeze it. And don't worry, you might have to tilt it in one side to lock it in and then move your... So what I do is I take a little dip on it. See that? See the little dip right here? So I do take a full advantage of the dip. And then I come back and I meet the front. Now, it's so much easier to do without the gloves on because you can feel, you know, your skin will give sensitivity. You can feel if, you know, something is actually, you know, stuck. The glove won't let you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do it with my naked hand. But it's almost getting in there. So I'm going to poke a little bit to the area. And just work it in there. Be careful, you don't want to bend it out. There it goes in. That. Especially with the oil too, you want to put the oil there to help you out. Now you can see it's not that perfect in alignment, so I'm gonna go and give it a twist just to line it like that. Then we can go ahead and, right now we don't want to settle it in yet because we need to save room for our wrist pin to go in there. So now we can go ahead and start putting our wrist pin in there. So this is where we're gonna come back to now, where we left off. And I'm going to go ahead and take this guy off of here, my charger wire. And you guys can see from the top view better. I'm going to put back my gloves on now. I think I should be okay. So this is the final assembly of the base gasket. You can see here I kept my base gasket dry. And I was going to go actually get something to help pull this in more. So let me go ahead. I'm probably going to use my tie strap. There we go. Get the tie strap here going on. All right. Okay, and I'm going to be able to feed it through shortly. Okay, we're going to put this guy on just a second here. I'm going to keep this guy for a second up top. Get him away from all the dirt. Going to wash my hands. Not wash my hands, but kind of clean it. All the oil stuff sticks to dirt easily. And you don't want to bring that back into your engine cylinder area. So you want to keep it nice and clean. The wrist pin, we're going to go ahead and get ready for it to insert in there from the other side. We can pre-insert him just a little bit. You can see here the side. Okay, we got that cylinder wrist pin pushed in as far as we can. We want to actually flush it a little bit more right here. So what you can do is just kind of push it in as much as you can, and then you just take your rubber thing there, because remember how hard it was to get off, so it's going to be the same way trying to put it back on right now, because I guess the heat kind of helped us a little bit, but now it's so just kind of hammer guy in a little bit. Be careful if he's protruding right here, you're actually chiseling it, so if you gotta be careful, you might want to pull your wrist a little bit out more, but careful, don't get all the room out. There you go. So you can see there, you can see where the oils are. Those are probably the last bit before you start pulling out your whole wrist pin area out. So let's go ahead and give him a good tap again. Want to go and get that guy in there, resuscitate him in there. Okay. You can come from the side if you want to. It's going to be a bit, so you probably have to get like a little screwdriver and just kind of tap a little bit as you go. Or even better yet, mallet hammer. A little bit more force for you. Try to get that guy in there. Give yourself some leeway room to properly hammer him in there. Be careful again, you don't want to scrape the wall, so you feel like it's going more toward the wall. Lift them up a little bit off the wall. And just hold this firmly. And it will go in smoothly. There you go. You don't need a lot. You can see here he's coming in. Again, it's better than using a vice grip and trying to grip it. Little by little, you're probably going to put force on it. Just kind of do a little tapping with your rubber mallet. See, it'll come all the way out like this. And you can just leave it there. I mean, it comes out a little bit, it's not fine. Your wrist pin right here, it doesn't need a lot of room to get into it, so you can actually even go a little bit more if you want to, like a centimeter. There we go. And once we get them all the way in, that's when we're going to go ahead and give them a good hard tap in there to lock in with the crankshaft wrist pin area. So there's it now. We got that in there. We're going to go ahead and lube a little bit also the crankshaft, which probably going to get some lube from here anyway, but since you have the cap already here, take a little bit of your motor oil and just go ahead and lube it in there. That way help the wrist pins to actually go in there more smoother. Sorry, you can't see it, but I am lubing it. There we go. Alright, there we go. That helps stays in there. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead. Can keep everything dry, wipe down this back area right here. You don't want any of the oil to actually land on your gasket, your dry base gasket. So you want to go ahead and again continue wiping everything dry. Then we're going to go ahead and slide in there. Make sure both your dowel pins in there, including your base gasket that you want, and make sure, don't worry about the alignment yet of, oh here, I can show you much more clearer now because of the lighting and everything. See that what I'm talking about? This is the sprocket here I was telling you about. See the crankshaft? So you can see it now. Boy, I can see it, but see if I can get a camera. See that? See it night and day now. This is what I'm talking about where there's two. Let me hold it by the tie screw here. Let me see if I can face this at an angle. You can see it a little bit more. Much more clear. See that right there? See, there's two little sprockets that your crankshaft, your crank has right there. So you can see right there. So oh, my mom and dad are here. Wow, that'd be great. They're coming in with the vegetables and everything. All the nieces are coming out. All right, Mom. So here we go. We're going to... There we go. We're going to go ahead and get this on there. We got the sprocket here. And we're going to go ahead and show right now. All right, so there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and see. You can see where the sprocket is. We need to get that over the second rail, but we don't have to worry about that just yet. We can put it in there now just to keep it simplified. Sorry, it's not really the best angle. I thought I got it. I could see it though, but the camera's not picking up on it. Let me see if I lighten it. There we go. See that? If I lighten it. So that farthest one to your right hand side of the screen, this is the one that we need to actually get over. You can see how it's hooked on already. You can follow the cam chain very much on top. And you can see that it's only place it's doing is sitting on there. So I can see it very clearly that it's no problem there. So it's on the right sprocket of the crankshaft. There you go. See, it's on the right sprocket there. And the bottom one as well. You can see like right now it's a dead end. See, so the path is correct. It's on there. It's not off to the side or anything like that, or else it won't allow us to, you know, turn it freely. Like watch. So you can see me pull it. See that? I could pull the crankshaft in. It'll protrude out and everything like that. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get that straightened out. We're not trying to time it yet. We're just still trying to get our cylinder head in there first, and then we're going to go ahead and change it over shortly. So here we go. So I'm going to pull this guy here. Well, turn the flywheel so much easier. Reverse him back out far as I can, extend him out. There we go. So there we go. We got that in there right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started on putting him out. And I'm going to go ahead and get the cylinder head in. There we go. So what we're going to do is feed him through. We want to feed him through the cylinder chain slot area here. Again, the long nose ones. And now we got our one wrist pin in there. So I actually have to come back from the other side and poke it in there, which is fine. You're going to be able to see that in a little second as soon as I loop this chain in here. That's why I like to use the, what you call that, tie strap. It's easier because I can actually feed this guy in here like this. And then I don't have to reach my fat fingers in there. So what I'm going to do is just put him in there. First I'm going to put him on the rail first. Got to get him on the rail. Again, make sure your dowel pins and your base gasket's all set. And just try to move this around so it just slides in. And there we go. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, our chain looked like it's cross crunching. We want to make sure. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to go feed that in there like this. There we go. Now we got people talking on the phone. Well, I'm trying to record. My family loves it, huh? Okay, so bear with me. My dad's talking to his friends. There we go. All right, so now you can see here what's in the way is actually the stroker. So what we're going to do is right now is we're going to go ahead and compress the dowel pins in there. I mean, compress the wrist pins in there right now. So you can see here the stroker. Now you want to lift up the stroker because it's getting really close in there. Okay, so let me see if I can show you from the very, well, you can see it here, right? So there it goes. See how I'm aligning it? Now I'm going to push the wrist pin in. Let's see if I can do it by a little bit. Uh-oh. The compression spring looked like one of them on top is wanting to come out, but I'm not letting it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get this one out of the way. That way you guys can see it. Okay, so I'm going to lift up the wrist pin. You got to line it because your wrist pin is not going to go in until it lines with the shaft pin. And you can see here the bottom compression spring is wanting to peek itself out. That's fine. We're going to keep on trying to push him back in there when we... Uh-oh. That's fine. See, this wants to come out a little bit. Okay, so you don't want to start banging it yet until you can see for sure it's coming to alignment. Imagine doing this again while you're up. So I'm coming from the very top because I can see it much easier. You can see here from the very, very top. See that right there? You can line it from the very top and see where the wrist pin is. I can't go from the side of course right now because I don't want to block you guys' viewing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go from the very top. And that way you can see I'm going to try to protrude the wrist pin in there. I'm guiding. There we go. So it's in there now. Now I just want to make sure. Yeah, you probably want to get a little bit more. There we go. Probing it in there as much as I can. I think it's in there all the way yet, but not too quite sure. Okay, you want to make sure it's perfect. There we go. Shouldn't have to force it in too much. It's got to line itself. There we go. I actually was able to poke it through. You can see there. Well, you can see here how much the wrist pin fleshed in already. Poke it through. Okay, you don't want to damage your head gasket. So let me go and get this out of the way a little bit for them so they can move some stuff in here. So you can see here the wrist pin is actually in there now. And it's not all the way in yet, so we're going to go ahead and try to get all the way in, and then we're going to compact some of our oil ring that actually escaped out, which is not very hard at all, since we have leverage on the very top like this. I can go ahead and put it in there, and we can go ahead and press the oil ring in there. There we go, we got the oil ring compressed. And then we're going to go ahead and push this in here. So you can see here what I'm doing is trying to a little bit more out, I guess, so we can go ahead and we'll do this. Probably now we can't actually push anymore with our finger, so we're going to go ahead and try to maybe get a little bit more mallet hammer into it. You want to use something for more like a round surface area. We're going to hammer it, so you're going to take a socket that has a little bit more of a round diameter so you don't actually damage the wrist area. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so this is a good socket here. Probably a little better one will probably be a little bit more lengthier. There we go. We can use something more flat like this right here. And we're going to take a mallet hammer. Since it's not letting us just push it with our fingers here, we're going to take a mallet hammer and just kind of hammer it in a little bit in this area here so we can show it. Okay. Go ahead and get that in there on this side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take a mallet hammer and tap in that area right there. And I'm using a little socket here to drive it. There we go, see how it's going. Still need to get in a little bit more though. You can see it's not, it needs for a little bit more so we can actually put our G-clip in there. So maybe we can actually push a little bit more. On this side, it's coming along just good. You can see here. See, it's fine. Just a little bit more. Our G-clip is still in place, which is good that we got one side of the G-clip in there. Be a little bit lesser difficulty now. There we go. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to go and push this a little bit. We're going to try to anyway. See, I can't push it in there a little more. So I'm going to take something a little smaller. 8mm. And this should actually go through it almost. I'm using the back side where it's fully more covered. You see here's more covered there. I'm going to tap it in a little bit more. So it actually flushes against the other side of the wrist pin. Let's see if I can show you guys kind of backed out like this. See if this will. Okay, you can see there This one needs to get a little bit more in so we can get our wrist pin, get our G clips in there. This one can use a little bit more coming out of it, so there we go. We're gonna put this guy in there. Oh, there we go. That just needs a little tap. You can see now it's flushed in there. Now we can put our G clips in there easily. And then we can actually even move this guy out a little bit more too, but it's blocked from coming through the other end because of the G clip. So that's good right there. And now you can see here our compression is not that hard to get in there. See? It's already in. We can pop it all the way in there. It's already coming in very soon. That's what's good with the little bit of, we used to use assembly oil, so we're going to try the Marble Mystery Oil and see how much better that burns off and everything else. To see how, so far so good, it's sliding in just nicely. Now what you want to do is go ahead and put the other G clip in there, secure that wrist pin from ever slipping back out. So we got our G clip here. There we go. There we go. There's our G clip. Okay, so we got our G clip in here now. We're going to go and put that in to prevent our wrist pin from coming out. So we have to actually probe it back out. I just want to show it to you now. I got to take it back out a little bit. So I'll take my rubber thing here to push it out a little bit, the piston, but careful pushing it all the way out. Because I think I'm going to probably do it with my finger, that way I can get a feel inch by inch where it's coming. Not yet. Not yet. There we go. Alright, now we can go ahead and focus on getting our wrist pin in that area there. See how much an area we have to work with there, which is fine. Should be enough there. So we're going to take this, we're going to flex it in. There we go, we got it in there now. Oh, actually not yet. We got to curve it in a little bit because the other side it's not coming all the way in. Just kind of use your plier muscle here. Kind of curve it in. This one's a little bit more harder. Should be coming in. And if you need to not to get the G clip, you can use the side too, like this. Kind of bend it down like that. And there we go. Now you gotta make sure it gets rested in there properly. So you can see it's not resting in there properly yet. So you can take your fingernail, snap it in there. The less time you spend on protruding it. And then you can twist the G clip so it stays away from the opening. You take this and spin it. Make sure it spins freely. If it spins freely, that means you're in the groove. So let me go and line it perfectly. There we go. It's kind of lined like that now. And if you can even spin it with your finger, you don't need a pliers. Should be going smoothly in the groove. See the other side of the groove too. There we go. And now we got this side here as well. You can see this one's almost opposite side of it. Where the G clip is in the down position. We could do the same thing. We can bring it all the way to the down position. So there we go. See, I can move it with my thumbnail here. Doesn't matter, just for us. I just do it for aesthetic. Keep things consistent, you know. So you can see it's kind of lined up like that. This one's lined up like that. Okay, so you want to take a clean shop rag again and just try wipe the areas that doesn't, any lint or anything like that that can land on there. Okay, So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and put this over here. Get all the shop rag. Alright, so that one's already done now. You can see the base gasket is dry still. So we got everything that we want aligned. This is not coming back out. This is it, meaning if the cylinder Taida head does not hit still, we'll use this Taida cylinder. If it does hit, we're going to finish cleaning up that SSP-G cylinder head and popping it right back in. See here, get a little any spaticles out of there. It will scrape a little bit of dirt. I think this is just from the oil buildup, but I think it's from us moving it a little back and forth. So we want to make sure that one's good. It's looking well. Looking really nice. A little dirt trap. It'll come out with the oil filter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start bringing this forward. And we're going to push this back and we're going to get our timing. We're set and ready. Oh, this is almost, see, like that. Always have to have it across. So this is it. You want to lift it up. I can see all the way down. It's still on the sprocket, which is good. Now we're going to go and start pushing this in and getting our timing level. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me close the motor oil. We don't need this guy no more. Not yet anyways. We will need him, but probably need to tap a little bit in there to make sure we have enough adequate oil before we start the engine. Okay, so we're going to go kind of get our timing mark set up correctly here. And then we're going to go ahead and pull this guy out. We're going to pull him first in because we need to get him a little bit more slack in there before we turn the timing mark here. So I'm going to show you guys. So we're going to pull more of the piston in here first, and then we're going to get the timing mark. Okay, let me just make sure, see the chain gets crossed a little bit. Make sure it doesn't get tangled or any way. Oh. Alright, so let's get this guy inserted as much as we can. Be careful because it's not all the way in. If you turn the flywheel a certain way, it might actually redo all your work. Careful if you twist the flywheel a certain area, it might actually pull it off. So we'll find out if it's going backward, it's pulling in more. There we go. So going counterclockwise is going to pull our piston in more. That's what we want. We want to be able to retract it in more. So I'm going to go ahead and hold the base cylinder here while turning the flywheel. If the wrist pins are not in the way, I mean the compression springs, it should go in pretty smoothly. Okay, hold that down. Make sure nothing else is protruding out. Yep, the wrist pins are caught in there, so I need to make sure. What I'm going to do is going to pull this whole thing out like this and get my wrist pin back in there my oil ring. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now it's sliding. All right. I want to get my chain, make sure my chain's not getting caught. Here we go. Okay, says, see our cylinder skirt. This is our cylinder skirt here. It's hitting our base gasket a little bit, so we want to make sure we align everything. Careful, mommy. Okay, here we go. We're gonna. There we go. It's coming into place. You can see it should go in very smoothly. And then we'll work on getting everything's a real nice dry fit. Okay. And what you could do possibly is maybe even drive this guy in there, but it won't be able to hold, unfortunately, because it needs the cylinder head to do it. So in the meantime, we're trying to get this to flush the very front, which is top dead center. So I'm going to try to hold the base and while flushing it. So I'm going to try to do it while showing you guys here. Let's see here. So I'm going to hold the base here, and you know, also try to hold the, what you call that, the cam chain too. That way it doesn't crunch up. So I'm going to try to do that all at the same time. There you go. Oh, it's about right there. That's our top dead center. Anymore, it looks like it's going to go back and forth. So you can see here, it's not bad. Could be a little bit better. So let's find out how far it is from our T mark. I think you can see here when it's top dead center, the magnet flywheel is just a little bit slightly off. And let's see our T mark here, how far it is. Look at that, it's still right there in between that we were talking about last time. See there? It's between the slash and the T. Or this one's actually below the mark a little bit, so we kind of went past it. That's okay, so we're going to go forward, aim for the T mark. So our T mark is probably our closest one. And I think my mom dumped the gasoline, so we'll see. Alright, so the gasoline's still there, ready for it to bath. My mom didn't actually take it down. I thought she dumped it out. Alright, so here we go. We got almost a T mark there. And it's coming flush now. So, we're going to go ahead and try to get this a little bit more center, flush a little bit more perfect. Okay, so I'm going to bring the chair over here. That way give you a little bit more level view of what we're working on. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and try to get this again a little bit more better tee off. Which we will. We're almost there. We're not trying to get a perfect tee yet anyway. We just want to get this all the way flush to see how far it is. So get a visual of it, you know. So our pistons and our tee are pretty much almost in sync there. We'll get to a perfect tee once we actually lay our base gasket. The one we have sprayed on there. Let's see how it looks. We might even do another coating of it. See there? Look at it's getting there. It's not very even like that. So we'll probably more than likely take a little more spray to it and get that copper spray that we're looking for. Evenly consist. But you can see how sticky it is. It'll even grab the cardboard. Here we go. Take this out of the way. We don't want to copper spray our actual cylinder here. See this right here? A little uneven. That's probably what caused it last time. All right. Awesome. Looking good. Yeah, we want to actually get a good even spray on there. So it's coming. I'm just a little bit concerning on that little area there, but as soon as it kind of clugs out on us, huh? Alright, let's let this guy rest again. And then we're going to go ahead and use our dry gasket just to test out our dry fit. And we're going to bolt everything down to spec. And we're going to see how it fits. So again, this one here doesn't have the gasket spray on there, so it'll be a little less thicker, but we get the idea. If it's gonna hit, it's gonna hit. Just a little slightly less thicker. So we're putting the dry oil base gasket here on there, just temporary, just to see. And before we do that, let's get our lower cam chain rail ready to go. And there is two sides to it. You don't want to use the one that's a lot of people put in the wrong side. It'll still work for a while, and then they'll start having trouble. You want to put where there's a little lip of a groove where the cam chain can sit in there on the very bottom like this. The long way goes in toward the engine, and the little short one before the little interlock rail here goes out to the cylinder head. So we're going to lift this guy up, take him in like that. Lay them neatly on here, and we're going to go ahead and wipe our gloves from all the chemical spray that we just did. Use this one especially. Gonna wipe my hands a little bit here thoroughly. Try to get all that oil and stuff out of there. Now our famous Taida cylinder head's about to go in next, but we'll get our dowel pins all prepped, ready to go. Wipe this guy clean as well. See what a clean exhaust one should look like before we install it. So we can check it out. Check it out. There you go. See that? That's our clean one. That's what a clean groove should look like. So as soon as we put that in there, we're going to be able to actually see how it fits on the dry fit. There you go. Just cleaned it. You know, we got our new titanium valve springs, which I think they already came with the valve springs. I think the titanium retainers is the only thing we pretty much upgraded on this Taida 232 180. And you can see here, it says right here, it says fit 57 millimeter 18cc, chain 92 for 63 millimeter, which is perfect. That's what we are. We're using a 63 millimeter setup here for pretty much our bore size. So this should work, but we want to double check, so we're going to go ahead and get ready to insert it. You want to insert it this way, going in that way like that. And this is where we had the blown head gasket last time, just right here where the spark plug area is. And the exhaust, also we had an exhaust leak as well.